First of all, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today here. On behalf of the global team at Oracle, I'd like to welcome you as well to Oracle Cloud Day Tokyo. I'm Jim Gargan. I'm the head of marketing for our Converged Infrastructure business group. Think of that as all of the Oracle hardware that we put into the marketplace. You know, as I was preparing for today's discussion, I spent some time reflecting on my career, reflecting on the journey that I've been on. And I'd like to give you just a little bit of background about myself, because some of you I know, I recognize some of the faces, many of you I don't. But I started reflecting and I realized that I have been in this computer industry for 33 years. I've only worked in the computer industry. And at first, I felt a little bit old, and I just wondered where the time had went. But what I really began to realize is that I've had a unique opportunity to watch our industry go through 4 generational transformations in IT architecture. In 1983, at the peak of the mainframe era, I joined Digital Equipment Corporation, and I got a front row seat to watching the build out of the second generation of computer technology, which was really around the mini computer. In 1998, I moved to IBM Corporation, and I spent the next decade working in client-server computing, and again, watched that grow and become very popular. And today I'm at Oracle. And now I'm on the 4th generation of IT architecture as the industry begins to move to the cloud. And I'll tell you, it's been a fantastic journey for me. I think it's been a fantastic journey for all of us in the room who've lived through this sort of transformation that's gone on. Today, what I wanted to do was talk about enterprise applications in their journey to the cloud and how you can build a cloud strategy that will allow you to get there. Over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to cover 3 things. First, I'm going to frame the cloud computing and its impact on the IT industry. The second thing that I want to do is I want to spend a few minutes to lay out Oracle's strategy for you that talks about what we're doing both on-premises as well as an integrated cloud architecture. And the last thing that I'll do will close by talking about different journeys that you might consider to employ as you begin your transition to the cloud. So the cloud impact on the industry is being felt everywhere. It's in every industry, it's in every geography. And just like the internet before it, we're going to look back some days and we're going to not be able to remember what it was like to get our jobs done before we had cloud computing. Here's the facts, right? The IT leadership has figured out that the business really does demand cloud computing, not only for its speed and agility that it delivers, but also because of the attractive cost structure and allow them to save money. And as we make this transition to the next generation and we move to cloud computing, in the IT organizations, it's going to change the operational model, and it's probably going to change the organizational structure. It will allow you to reshift things that you haven't been able to do before. All customers are looking at the cloud today. Many of them are on a public cloud journey. Some are still on a private cloud journey. What we know is they're both good. They both offer unique opportunities for you to take advantage of. The real issue that we have to help you with is how do you get these things to operate together? And so I'm going to spend some time today talking about how the industry has approached this and where it hasn't worked. And then I'll discuss as well Oracle's strategy and how it's uniquely different. Here's a statement that I like to think about for you. Whether or not you are personally running cloud in your infrastructure today, it is impacting you. The shift to cloud computing has been the most aggressive that I have seen in the last 25 years. As we've gone through each of these generational shifts, cloud is moving the fastest, and it's because the stakes are the highest. Your ability to speed new applications to the marketplace is critically important, but it's also reshaping the vendor landscape of where and how you think about consuming your infrastructure. Let me lay out a simple model for you. There are today a number of suppliers that you utilize for your on-premise equipment. And if you want to make the move to the cloud or begin to use public cloud and integrate it with your on-premises infrastructure, their answer is, we don't have that. There's also a series of cloud vendors that are moving into the marketplace. And they will sell you anything that they want as long as it's exactly what they want to give you. And if you want to be able to integrate that public cloud with your on-premises infrastructure, it's left to you. The problem here is fundamentally that the on-premises world and the cloud world are different architectures. They were not built together, they were not designed together, and so what's left is you as a customer you're the one left doing the integration work. So rather than consuming the cloud, what you're actually doing is having to integrate the cloud. This is where Oracle is uniquely different. We're the only vendor that has both an on-premises strategy of infrastructure as well as a public cloud offering. It is complete, it is designed for the enterprise, and our cloud services give you the capability to have SaaS, PaaS, and infrastructure as a service. Now let's be clear. The journey to the cloud, we're just at the very beginning of it. Today, probably about 5 to 10% of all enterprise workloads are actually operated within the cloud. Many of you have already started work with the cloud. You may have a handful of SaaS applications that you're using. You may have implemented some private clouds using VMware within your infrastructure. You may be using desktop and collaboration capabilities. They're all great. It's a good start to where you want to get to. The problem is, for enterprise companies, the core of your business that runs your enterprise are your enterprise applications. And those are the ones that haven't moved yet. And so what Oracle is developing is a comprehensive strategy to help you to take those enterprise-class applications and allow you to get them to a cloud environment. Our strategy is different and it's unique. We have an integrated software as a service capability unmatched in the industry. I'll talk more about that. We have platform as a service that's leading edge. And our infrastructure as a service has been designed, optimized specifically for those enterprise applications that you want to be able to take to the cloud. What's also unique about Oracle is that we give you 3 different ways to deploy this technology. You can do it in your data center on premises. You can choose to put it in the Oracle public cloud, or you can choose to take the power of the Oracle cloud and actually put it behind your firewall within your data center. So as we start to move to our capabilities and our strategy, as we think about infrastructure and what our organization does, we like to think of this as really 3 simple building blocks for our strategy. The first is we have the Oracle public cloud. Modern, complete, enterprise-ready, SaaS, PaaS, infrastructure as a service. It uses Oracle technology. All of the same equipment that we use to build on-premises capabilities, we use to build the Oracle public cloud. The second thing that we have is a set of on-premises capabilities built primarily around our engineered systems that are designed specifically for enterprise applications. If you are running an Oracle application, our systems have been designed specifically to take unique and unfair advantage of what we do with our applications. You will not be able to get faster performance. You will not be able to build something more simply yourself by compiling from the rest of the industry. And it will deliver better value to your customers and better satisfaction to your end users. What's also unique is that all of the engineered systems that we talk about today, we have precise equivalents of those in the Oracle public cloud, which gives you some unique capabilities. Let me start by talking first about the Oracle public cloud and framing that. So first we talk about our enterprise software as a service. 10 years ago, Oracle began the journey in the move to making all of our applications cloud capable. We didn't take the existing applications and try to make them for the cloud. We rewrote them, all from scratch. And we built them out as complete suites of software. Each of these capabilities literally have hundreds of applications and parts of the code that have been put together so that you get a complete integrated suite. Let me contrast that for a moment with what the rest of the industry delivers. You could go to a company like Salesforce and get a CRM system. You could then go to a human resource management company like Workday and get that capability. You can go to a marketing automation company like Marketo and get that set of SaaS capability. And what you're doing is you're buying these sets of capabilities. Now your challenge is make them all work together. They were designed by different companies, different architectures. How does that data flow? How do you put that into a management system that allows you to get the optimization that you're looking for? Oracle, on the other hand, every one of our suites are complete. They're ready to go, whether it's customer experience, human capital management, supply chain management. We've integrated the software as a service because that's how your companies want to run. That's how your organizations want to run, as if they're being integrated as a service as well. We have a complete set of platform as a service offerings. These are designed for your application developers. Your application developers want to have a complete and a modern set of development tools that will allow them to speed applications into the marketplace, right, to meet the needs of the business as you continue to grow. Whether they're looking at making them mobile ready or they're doing the actual development process, all of these platform as a service capabilities are there today. This chart, I'm not going to take you through it, just shows you the breadth and the extent of this array of platform as a service developer tools that we have available today in the Oracle Public Cloud. Now, the next part is infrastructure as a service. Now, we have seen, to be honest, we have seen many customers, many companies start the migration to the cloud. We see SaaS workloads continuing to grow and expand. We see platform as a service continuing to grow and expand. And we also see infrastructure coming up as well. But not all of the enterprise applications that we have yet made that move to the cloud. And so you begin to ask yourself the question, well, why hasn't the enterprise workloads begun that work, that migration to where we want to go? At the end of the day, what we've concluded from this, and history tells us, is that, first of all, not every workload that you have can run in a public cloud. You may want to have the ability, for example, to have very deterministic behavior capabilities that optimize your application, or you may have a Unix application, or others that just can't make the migration there. The second thing is that IT departments over the years have developed a set of standards by which you run your operations. How do you secure? How do you monitor? How do you manage? What are all the processes that you use? And this is how you've built and run your business. The classic infrastructure as a service providers have not provided the capability to have both this, the ability to run on premises as well as in the public cloud. They force you to make a choice. And the last part is many of your workloads that you run today don't have the portability that you're looking for. We believe that as customers move to the cloud, they're going to want to have choice. They're not going to want to locked into a single public cloud provider. They're going to want to have the ability to use multiple cloud providers and then be able to port and move those workloads from your on-premises world into your cloud and then back again should you choose to do that. It's a very different set of things. So what's happened is the industry hasn't fulfilled the promise, and they've forced IT to make compromises. So what's our viewpoint about this? We believe that the world needs infrastructure as a service that works the way enterprise IT works. Don't force the customer to have to change. Help the customer to extend what they're currently doing today, but do it within the public cloud. So let me contrast now for you Oracle's infrastructure as a service strategy. What do we believe? We believe that we need to support all IT workloads. And we need to give a full range of offerings. Bare metal, elastic compute, dedicated compute, different storage capabilities. It all needs to be there. And what we want to have is our customers who have made their investments in the ways that they operate their data center to be able to extend those directly into the cloud without change. We should operate more like you as opposed to enforcing a different operating model. We also believe that the investments that you make today in your on-premises infrastructure needs to be able to carry you forward into the cloud. And that means you have to have both on-premises and public cloud options to do this. Applications that you have that are virtualized, we want to give you the ability to do the portability of those to the cloud. And we also want to provide ways for you to control IT spending. The cloud is interesting because it's very easy for people to take out a credit card and begin to order services. But from an IT standpoint, how do you control that spend? Because you have to manage budgets. So we want to be able to provide a set of tighter controls for you to be able to do that. Moving on to the second part, which is now about our engineered systems and our actual hardware strategy, we're going to now take a few minutes to sort of unpack this. And again, we design all of these systems to take advantage of the Oracle software. I can't think of another company who would be better at doing this than us, because you would need to have deep understanding of the software that we've written and then being able to design it specifically for that. A little bit about the strategy and how we think about this. Every system that we design is purpose-built for a specific workload. It is designed to be uniquely great at what it does. And the workloads that we think about are the database, which is where your most critical information in your corporation resides, the application layer, which is how you connect your data to people, and then add analytics. How do you take that information that you have and transform that into insights? And with our capabilities, we're going to always deliver to you faster time to value and better results. And each of the systems that we design will have a clear pathway to the cloud. You've heard the term cloud insurance. This is what we mean by it. You can make confident investments today because we're giving you the path to move to the cloud, and also to use what you have with your on-premises. You can build both. Now, I know that the Oracle product line sometimes is a little bit overwhelming. We have a lot of products. And I'd like to take a moment to perhaps lay out for you a way of thinking about this. So what we have done is we have designed a number of ways that you can actually consume our technology. Think of them as consumption models. There are 6 of them. Starting at the left, we begin with our best-of-breed technologies. This is where you can buy individual elements, storage, servers, operating systems, networking, management software, and you can optimize and build specifically what you need to do. It is highly customizable, designed to meet your needs. If you choose that you want to have something of higher value and perhaps better performance, you can consume our engineered systems. The first type of engineered system we have are what we call an appliance. Appliances, for example, Oracle Database Appliance, Private Cloud Appliance, Big Data Appliance, Zero Data Loss Appliance. They are all designed and integrated for ease of deployment and ease of operations. If you want to go for maximum performance, we have our Exa line, Exadata, Exalogic, Exalytics, as well as our integrated supercluster that will allow you to get unmatched performance in the hardware that you're deploying that's designed to run the Oracle software. And it may be design optimized for either performance, security, or availability, right? Each are designed to perform a unique need. The fourth way that you could choose to consume our infrastructure is through cloud machines. You've heard that name today a number of times. I'll explain more about it in a few minutes. But basically, what this does is it allows you to maintain control and bring the value of the public cloud securely behind your firewall. The fifth consumption model is you can simply go and get the precise equivalent of what you have in your data center in the Oracle public cloud. The exact same equipment that will allow you to do that. So now you have commonality between your on-premises infrastructure as well as your cloud. And the last part is you can consume Oracle through our infrastructure as a service. Now, the ways to think about this is, as you go from the left-hand side of the chart to the right-hand side of the chart, you go from the things that take the longest to deploy to the fastest. So if you wanted to design your own customized system, it might take weeks or months, but with infrastructure as a service in the cloud, you can consume it in minutes. It moves from a CapEx model to an OpEx model as you go from left to right. So there's it becomes fully cloud-enabled as opposed to partially cloud-enabled as you go through this journey. So it's all lined up to do that. It gives you the capabilities to build your private cloud building blocks as well as your public cloud building blocks and tie them together. What do I mean by tie them together? What we're talking about here is removing the friction and the complexity from cloud. That on-premises world that you've developed within your data center in the Oracle public cloud, they use the exact same technologies, they use the same products, they use the same management system, they're identical in most ways. And now what that means is it gives you the maximum portability of your workloads. You can move them between your on-premises world to the cloud world, and you can do it for Oracle software and non-Oracle software. So it is about being open and allowing you to do that. The third part of the strategy is what we call these public cloud models, right? The public cloud machines. And this is really taking the capabilities that we have in the Oracle public cloud and delivering it to you where you want. Why did we come up with and invent the category and the capabilities of the cloud machine? It was because many customers want to go to the public cloud but feel like they haven't been able to. What's prevented them? It could be issues around regulatory compliance that governments are forcing upon them. It could be a management decision that you've made as a company that you want to retain control. Right? Number of reasons why. It could be latency, right? The way that you've designed your infrastructures and these systems to work together, they have to be very closely co-located in order to take advantage of what you're trying to do with your application. The cloud machine actually helps you to overcome all of that, right? What does it do is it allows you to change the operating model that you want to get to, and it brings that value of the public cloud. So now you can be much faster, more quick, more agile, and it will allow you to also look at reorganizing and realigning your technology investments. Rather than spending your money on building clouds, you can now take that money and you can now start to put it into smaller focused teams to deliver different and better results. And it helps to meet the needs of what your application developers are looking for, which is I want to have access to the tools and I want to have a modern platform to be able to do this. And if your goal is to move from today's CapEx model to an OpEx model, where you pay as you go, more variability and predictability in the workloads, you're able to do that. Here is an illustration of what the cloud machine technology does. And as I talk around the world with various customers at their places of business, this is one of the hottest topics that they want to talk about, and there's a lot of confusion. So the first thing is, this is not a private cloud. A private cloud is when you acquire hardware, you acquire the software, you put it together and you build it. And by definition then, a private cloud is anything that you want it to be because every customer is different and they're not going to be, any two of them will be the same. Right? That's a CapEx model and you buy it. A cloud machine is a subscription service that you consume in a cloud model. It's fully metered. If your workload goes up and you need extra capacity, it scales up with you. And then if you don't need it any longer, it scales down, and you can do that with a cloud machine. So it's a very, very different model. It is all run by Oracle. It is maintained by Oracle. We've made all the design decisions for you. You simply consume it. But now you do it behind your firewall within your data center, and it overcomes those issues that we talked about earlier. It's a very elegant solution. We have introduced 3 different models of the growing family of cloud machines. The first was the Oracle Cloud Machine, which was designed really for Java and cloud-native applications. And so it's a way for you to consume infrastructure as a service, then you can choose additional PaaS capabilities to build on top of it. We've announced and will be shipping very shortly the Exadata Cloud Machine, which brings the cloud capabilities to your data warehousing and your online transaction processing. And we've also introduced the Big Data Appliance Cloud Machine. And this is where it will allow you to take what you're doing today with Hadoop clusters, do it in the Oracle Cloud, but do it behind your firewall. All of these systems are installed by Oracle. They're maintained by Oracle. It is the same people that do the Oracle public cloud. So in summary, on the hardware part of this, or the building blocks, the building block part of our strategy, complete public cloud, our systems are engineered for the cloud, and we can bring the public cloud on premises. I would challenge ourselves to look at any other vendor in the industry who could say any one of these three statements, never mind the three in combination. The power is, individually they're great, the power is actually in their total combination of what we can do. So now let's talk for a minute about your journey to the cloud. And every organization that is building a cloud strategy is going to do one, and that none of them are really going to look the same because everybody's infrastructure, everybody's application environment, they're all different. But we know that we want to go do this. So how would we begin to think about that? Well, Oracle has really laid out for you 5 different journeys to the public cloud. What do all customers want to do today? They want to go from their legacy data center, what they have today, and they eventually want to be able to get themselves to a public cloud. We're giving you 5 different ways now to think about that. And the way that we'll go through these is I'll sort of arrange them and order them from the most conservative, the simplest to sort of go do, to the most aggressive. And the way that I like to think about this is that this is a portfolio of options that you can choose. Some customers will like one of them, and that's become their strategy. It's more likely, however, that it will become application dependent, and that you may actually deploy multiple parts of the strategy across your organization. So what's the first journey? The first journey is really about taking all of the sprawl and all of the supplier equipment that you've acquired in your data centers over the years and begin to streamline and standardize those on engineered systems. It'll deliver great performance, it will deliver cost savings to you, and it will set you up nicely to now take advantage of the Oracle Public Cloud. The second journey is you may have been today running private clouds within your environment and have had good results. Now what you might want to do is look at how do you expand upon that and get new applications and new capabilities within your current private cloud strategy, and then again, set yourself up for the move to the public cloud. After you're done building out your private cloud, you may then say, I want to begin to do hybrid cloud. And that's where we take what we're operating with our private cloud on-premise and we begin to integrate it with the Oracle Public Cloud together. And how do you get the benefit of that? The fourth journey is about the cloud machines that we just talked about. You can take the capabilities that you have, put those cloud machines of the Oracle Public Cloud, put it behind your firewall, and begin to do new and interesting things. And then if you choose at a later point that you want to make the journey to the full Oracle Public Cloud, you can choose to do that. And the last journey, which is perhaps the most aggressive, is a lift and shift strategy. Simply take what you're doing today in your data centers and move it to the public cloud. We have customers that do that. Let's talk about each of these. So this should be a familiar looking picture to you because it's likely what your data center looks like. Over the years, as management teams have come in and different people have come and left the organization, you have probably acquired a diverse set of technologies in your data center, and now you have to manage it. And this is part of the problem, because as your business leaders are pushing you to get to more innovation, speed new applications, deliver new services to your customers, you're stuck. with the investments that you've made, and most of your spending is going towards maintaining those as opposed to bringing on the new applications and the new services that your business is looking to do. Another element of this is the people, and there are a lot of them. We have people in the organization who will manage each of these various systems. You'll have people in the organization who then have to work to integrate these. And then you have people in the organization who manage those people. So it's a lot of cost and a lot of expense, and it's preventing you from getting to where you want to go. We have a simpler approach. Streamline and standardize all of this on engineered systems. Take your database, your Oracle database, consolidate those at the database tier using either a supercluster or our Exadata systems. At the application tier, you can use our Exalogic as well as our public cloud appliance for both Oracle workloads and non-Oracle workloads to consolidate. You can do your big data and analytics on our systems that are optimized and designed to work with all of those. And you can even do it at the storage level. So if you're looking at backup and recovery, all Oracle databases can be backed up and restored on our zero data loss recovery appliance. And when you make this move, you're going to get great results, and you're going to save money, and you're going to have fewer people. So now you can begin to reorganize and reorder the investments that you're making in your infrastructure. And again, cloud insurance. Each of these systems have the ability to take advantage of the Oracle public cloud. They have precise equivalents that you can use, and you can use them to do development tests. You can use it to put additional production capability in place. You can do it if you wanted to design a disaster recovery solution. So each of them, on-premise and in the Oracle public cloud, the capability to work them together back and forth. All right, let's talk about the second move, which is really around extending your private cloud capabilities. So again, you've been running the model, you have it in your environment. Chances are you've taken and consolidated generic workloads onto a vSphere type of environment. And now what you want to be able to do is take that model and apply it to more of your enterprise level applications. And if you can do that, you'll be able to deliver additional cloud benefits to the business that you're looking for. You can pool and automate, and you can do self-service consumption models on a broader scale. And with this strategy, what you're looking to do is have the ability to have the capability to go to public cloud at some point in the future with this investment. So here's this situation. When we look at this, we do see that there are a number of private clouds that are out there that customers have built. They are typically generic hardware that have been designed to run generic level software that are not necessarily mission critical. And so you virtualize those. And then there's a big chasm between that and your enterprise applications. And these are the ones that run your business. And chances are you have not put them into a virtualized world, that you have dedicated systems in place to run those. So what's the strategy? Create a database as a service, a great starting point. You can take your Oracle database, you can move it into an engineered system, and with that private cloud, you can create for your organization a database as a service. The ability to spin up new things quickly, to give the developers the access that they need. When the resources you don't need, you can move it back. It's all a great idea. And if that works for you, the next move that you can do is you can actually now take it and do application as a service. So start to move your applications into something like our private cloud appliance and create more capabilities with your private cloud. And again, with this, you have the confidence and the capability to leverage Oracle's public cloud capabilities as part of it. And you can go to it when you're ready to. Now, let's move to the third case, hybrid development. Hybrid cloud computing can be done in a number of different use cases. You could decide that you want to archive your data and store it in the public cloud, but keep your production on premises. You could choose, again, to have swing capacity to enhance your capabilities. You could choose to do disaster protection. One of the most popular ways of work use cases for hybrid computing is actually the development and test environment. By the way, we believe, or at least I personally believe, that the majority of development and test in the next 10 years are going to happen in public clouds. They're going to move at, I think, a very fast rate. What does this do? It gives you the ability to now start to test and prove out hybrid cloud computing. You'll be able to show to the business that you've been able to show them cost savings and improve the agility. You're going to improve the developer productivity and be able to speed applications more quickly to the marketplace. You'll be able to validate that the hybrid cloud strategy works for your environment, and it will reduce complexity in what you're trying to do. So what does a typical development test environment look like in on-premises? Your IT team will go acquire equipment, and what they will do is they'll have to set it up and provision it in advance, and then the utilization of it may be not fully utilized. Private cloud is only attractive financially when you have a high level of utilization of the equipment that you've made the purchase for. There is also a difference from what you run in production to what you're running in the cloud. Let me give you an example. If you are using an Exadata on-premise to do work for your production database, and you decide that you want to put your development test on an Amazon cloud, you're going to go out and get equipment and hardware from them that they're going to spin up, and you don't know what it is. And so when you're done with that development of the application and you want to move it back into production, right, you're going to retest it because it's not the same hardware. Right. So the result of this is that we see that customers come back and say to us, I've been down the private cloud journey as I've been trying to do this for my development and test environment, and yet it hasn't yielded the results that I'm looking for. Here's an alternative. Here's the Oracle approach. You can create a development test environment between what you have with your on-premises private clouds as well as the Oracle public cloud. Again, it uses the same hardware, the same standards, and the same management system so that your development and test environments are the same. If you do development and test with a dedicated system, an exact duplicate in the Oracle public cloud, you can move it simply from development and test directly into production if that's what you choose to do. And you can move the workloads back and forth as you see fit. And as you begin to explore that, you will then start to look at different capabilities that you have within your infrastructure and your applications that might be good candidates to make the move. All right, the fourth journey, public cloud, what's not to like about it? It's very attractive, but it can't always be used. So the goal here is how do you take that public cloud capability, but bring it behind your firewall so that you can use this? The result of it will be, by the way, one of the results is complete cost transparency, because you consume it as a service, and so you would know exactly what it costs, and is that when you get the bill in your department, they will know where it came from. It runs both Oracle and non-Oracle software, and it gives you the control that you've been looking for, has been the barrier for your adoption of the public cloud technology. So how does the world work today? You have a traditional data center model, and you have a public cloud model. They are two completely different models. The data center model, as you know, is very capital intensive, it requires a lot of people, and it's not very flexible. But the public cloud is very attractive because of the rich features, the global capabilities, right? Dynamic and modern tools that you can deliver. Well, envision a world in which you can have both of those within your data center or within the public cloud, and again, using the same technologies that will allow you to port and move the workloads back and forth between each of them. It's a very, very attractive alternative for you to begin to think about. In the fifth journey is when you want to make, because the business demands it, an immediate move to taking advantage of the public cloud. This is the lift and shift strategy. Now, as you do that, you're going to start someplace that is really a test environment, and then you're going to want to expand it as you've proven it out to the rest of it. So let me give you some ideas as a way to think about that. Oracle can work with you to take a look at your infrastructure and to pick candidate applications that would make sense. And what we would do is pick that application and then begin the actual move of it from where it is today in your on-premises and shift it to the public cloud. The benefit of this is that we provide complete planning, we do the migration, we help with the validation. Perhaps more importantly, though, we develop the skills within your organization so that as you make the next set of moves, it becomes simpler. And so you then just begin to look at the rest of your environment and application by application over time, at the speed and the pace that you want to go at, you can begin to migrate this to the public cloud. So it's a progressive approach, right? It's one that allows you to do it at the right speed, at the right timing. It's application independent. It minimizes the risks, and it starts to build the skills and the capabilities that you're going to need within your organization. So those are the 5 journeys. That's how you get from where you are today to where you want to be, which is in the public cloud model. Our focus is about enterprise applications. We believe that you need to design your private cloud environments, your public cloud environments, your on-premise to the cloud need to work together so that it will give you the confidence to begin to set up your next steps and to build your strategy of where you want to go. We can help you to do this. Again, a single architecture, it is very elegant by design. It will reduce your cost and make an impact to your business financially, and it will deliver a lot of satisfaction to your customers when you go to do this. And it will help to increase the velocity and the agility of your business. Let me conclude with this. At Oracle OpenWorld in September, we made a series of announcements, and I just want to highlight them for you quickly. In the on-premises world, we introduced a new Exadata SL. SL stands for Spark Linux. It's a new model where we've introduced the Spark microprocessor running Linux on our Exadata family. What it will do is deliver even higher levels of performance, but it will also provide the security that the Spark microprocessor has brought to the marketplace. We introduced new models of our Oracle database appliance. For departmental and regional databases, there's nothing simpler to deploy the Oracle database on. Literally, in less than 30 minutes, you can get it up and running in your data center or at your location. We talked about the customer cloud, the 2 new introductions there were the Exadata Cloud Machine and the Big Data Cloud Machine. Andy mentioned in the public cloud, the Exadata Express, $175 per core per month. Fantastic offering. And then we introduced our 2nd generation of infrastructure as a service with new bare metal capabilities and a completely new and modern approach to what we're trying to do with our infrastructure. Let me just give you one example. I assume that you're all here because you run the Oracle database. And if you're running the Oracle database, think about what we've just talked about on this chart. You have the ability on premises to run Exadata, or you can run Exadata Spark with Linux. When you move it to the cloud, you can have an Exadata Cloud Service. You can get an Exadata Cloud Machine. You can get an Exadata Express. There are 5 different ways that I just talked about of how you can consume and run your Oracle database just on Exadata. And it gives you that bridge between the on-premises world and the cloud, which is where you want to go. So let me conclude with this question. Where will you start your journey to the cloud? Thank you very much.